Remember this time last year, I was just so happy for a lot of my friends. They found love, and a lot of them are still not in relationships right now. And yeah, I want to talk about addressing conflicts in relationships because I believe that that is the source of many couples just giving up on each other, giving up on whatever they share. I'm going to break this conversation just because I don't want to be talking for too long. I'm going to break it into three parts. First, measuring conflict. Second, addressing conflict. And third, moving on from conflict. Measuring conflict. Not everything should cause problems. Not everything should be brought up. Not every issue should be raised. There are certain things that, to be honest, I think you could let go of. Not necessarily let go of, but communicate it in a way that it's not causing problems or it's not going to have you people turning your back on each other type thing. I'm going to give a typical example of something that I think causes a lot of problems in relationships. When two people are dating, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's usually always a slump between both of them, someone that's not very tidy, right? It's in very, very rare cases that you meet a couple and both of them are clean, right? Both of them are organized, very rare. But in a lot of situations, you'd find that either the man is a bit of a slob and the lady is a clean freak or the other way around. For instance, let's use a woman being the clean one here. So a woman being a clean freak and the man comes home and he's like tossing his shell over the floor, his socks, his underwear is on the floor, and then she gets upset and then they're fighting, right? Or a simple example where a husband has told the wife to do something, she's just not gotten around to doing it, and all of a sudden you always do this, you always do this, you don't listen to me, blah blah blah. It's causing the fight. So whenever you're heated or whenever you find yourself in situations where you're upset about something that your partner has done, I think the first thing for you to actually think about it is this worth causing problems right now? Is this worth disturbing the peace? Not everything should disturb the peace. I'm going to use disturb the peace. I always say that in a relationship, somebody has to always be the mature one. Someone always has to be the kinder one. Just and it could change. You could pass the baton at any point in time, but there should never be a case where both of you are unwilling to have a peaceful environment. Like one person will always have to sacrifice their ego at some point in time. Not everything should really be causing fights. Measure the conflict and see if it is worth causing conflict. I don't need to go too deep into that. I think you understand what I mean. The second one, addressing conflict. Now, how you address conflict is completely dependent on your partner, how they behave in conflicting situations. So there are different kinds of people's reactions. So for instance, when I'm in a conflicting situation, when I'm in a conflicting situation, I get very emotional. For instance, I start to pick on everything you're saying. Oh, is this how you really feel about me? Oh, why didn't you say this? That's how I address. That's how I am in conflict situations. Because I always feel like I'm perfect. I don't make any mistakes. Or even if I make mistakes, tell me why did we have to get here? That's how I am. So there are different people. People react differently in conflicting situations, but they always have a pattern. So you find someone who, for instance, likes to get very defensive. Yeah, that's all they do. They never take responsibility. They're always defensive. There are other people who will be defensive at the moment, but they will go back and think about it. Like they would literally, you will be able to tell that yeah, this person kind of needs time to digest what just happened, right? Or why I feel the way I feel, or why we're in this conversation in the first place. There are other people who just like turn to insults, like they they really like bash your ego. They go in for your ego. So different people behave different ways in conflict situations. You have to understand or study what your partner's own is, and then you address based on how they react to conflicting situation. So for instance, if you're fighting with someone who usually likes to be defensive, but they will usually take their time to think about it later. Simple. When you're being defensive, allow them do their defense shit. Allow them say whatever they want to say. Tell them how you feel, and then give them the time to digest it. For that kind of person, you don't need to be hounding because you already know that this person sort of sometimes they need time. And how you address conflicts the way you understand that they are in conflict situations. Finally, moving on from conflict. I know it's hard for people, but whenever you have moved on, like you have addressed it, you can see that this person listened to you, they took they listened to you, you guys are fine now. I'm saying this assuming that the person that you're with actually loves you. Because to be honest, I know how love is, and I'm sure you guys know what that is too. When you love someone, you don't want to see them hurt, you don't want to see them upset, you don't want to see them sad. And if they consistently tell you this thing you're doing makes me sad, if they really do care about you, it might take time because some people don't adjust quickly. It might take time, but they would make the effort, and you would see that they're making the effort. So when you see that someone is making the effort, appreciate them. This is how you move on. Appreciate them for hearing you, for listening to you, and yeah, appreciation. Appreciate that they showed you that they cared enough about you, that this thing that bothered you, they're actually addressing it. So that's how you address. That's how you move on from it. Appreciation. Whenever you feel like you can remember it, or when you see that, okay, for instance, you complained about, or this your person is always leaving stuff on the floor. You've complained about it a couple times. You've talked about it a couple times. You've mentioned it to them a couple times, and you start to see that, okay, yes, they are actually picking up after themselves. You have to address it, like tell them. You have to then appreciate them, like, oh, you you actually listen to me, thank you so much. That would keep them addressing it. That will keep them um on their toes, especially just, okay, well, this person is so happy that I'm doing this. I don't want us to go back to the time where we were fighting about it. Okay, so again, measure the conflict. Is this worth fighting about? If it's not, move on from it. If you need to talk about it, but in a peaceful environment where they can assess what you're saying or even accept what you're saying. Two, address it in the style that they understand. Just like love languages, you love people how they want to be loved, not how you want to be loved. So address the conflict how based on how they react or how they usually react to conflicts, and how you move on from it is appreciate them when they do address these things. I don't know if I was able to hit the points, but I hope this helps someone. And I don't want to see you guys breaking up and losing love for each other. I hate it so much. I can't stand when I see a beautiful couple. I'm happy for them, and tomorrow they hate each other. Love each other, love yourself.